Hello and welcome to the first show of potentially many, potentially none, but it's certainly one, and it's called Like Tiers and Ranks. The pun of the title is supposed to sound kind of like the line Rutger Hauer says at the end of Blade Runner, like Tears in Rain. Anyway, tier making videos tend to be really controversial because nobody ever agrees with your ranking. And in this case, we're doing Sonic games, which, people have been known to do criminal acts upon their own parents due to the passion of Sonic. There's kind of two kinds of Sonic fans. Fans that just grew up with Sonic and have a bit of Arrested Development and still love the character, and then, ones that want to do weird things to him. But probably the thing that's most controversial is the fact that I think Blade Runner is overrated. But we're still using the line. But yeah, if anybody gets killed by a Sonic fan, it won't be over the ranking. It'll be over the fact that I just said Blade Runner is overrated. But that's what I said. That's not what my co-host said. My co-host... my name's Sneakman, by the way.
And I'm Jehmil.
Jehmil.
Welcome to the show.
Yes. Jehmil's my right-hand man here. And we decided to do Sonic first because I kind of have more of a classic Sonic history and love, and he's got a lot of love for the 3D games, even the underdogs. Go ahead and give your sort of introduction of your history with Sonic.
Growing up, Sonic was a game that other kids had, and it was cool and all, but I didn't play the 2D ones a lot because of that reason.
Fair.
But when Sonic Adventure 2 Battle came to the GameCube, that was the first time I owned a Sonic game, and I played that game a lot. I had a super high level Chow.
Yeah, Adventure 2 on the GameCube, it was like for people I know that didn't even have a Dreamcast or care about Sega, like, I remember when I was getting a GameCube, I asked a couple people what would be the best game on the GameCube, like, right now. And it was always Smash Brothers Melee and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Like, it was a big deal.
One of those aged well.
Well,
and one of those is still available for purchase, and it's not the same one.
No, it's not.
Nintendo for you.
But I would say probably the reason I could think of that maybe it's those two is just they're both chock full of content. Like Melee just has tons of content, and especially single player stuff that you can unlock and do. And yeah, Sonic Adventure 2 with that Chow Garden, like you said, it took it to another level.
Yeah, that's the kind of content I like. The thing that a lot of games nowadays lack when they come out, as opposed to the content that is, barely not pornographic Instagram short clips.
Barely not pornographic. I'm trying to figure out the grammar there. Barely not. So it's almost pornographic, but just barely.
Yeah. Barely
so you mean,
not.
So like, and what are you talking about?
I'm just saying,
What games?
They could put a... Oh, not games. I'm not talking about games. I just mean content.
Oh, like OnlyFans and stuff?
The broad term, it can encompass things that don't require that much effort compared to
creating a game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's a shame because, Sonic has a pretty bad rep right now. It was redeemed a little bit by Sonic Mania. We'll get to that. And redeemed by some other stuff, but like the movies. We'll maybe get to that. I don't know. But yeah, people just like to trash on every new Sonic game, and it's totally understandable because like you pay money for a game that isn't broken. But it sure is a shame because I know so many people work hard on even the worst Sonic games. It's not everybody on those crews' fault that you clip through the map every 5 seconds or whatever. Or the Shadow the Hedgehog had bad music in it, That wasn't the art. That wasn't that wasn't the
Music.
concept artist's fault that the music guy chose that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And that game, of course, we all know would have been perfect without the music.
Yeah, that was
choices.
the only bad thing about it. But so you were saying all your friends had Sonic.
Yeah. So
you got you got Venture 2 Battle.
Yeah, I got that, and I like that. And then I got the prequel, Adventure DX, and then
which is sort of what inspired me to want to do this, because I've been playing through the first adventure game, something I never beat and kind of wrote off. But yeah,
understandable.
Playing the PC version with like the mod to make it like the Dreamcast version is way. But I've watched some videos. It's crazy how much the DX version actually downgraded it. I mean, it's certainly playable, and it's certainly fine and everything. It just doesn't look as nice, and it's just weird choice.
I see. Yeah, we can get into that.
Yeah.
You want to...
Let's start with the
thing on the list?
Yeah, first game on the list.
Sorry to interrupt.
No. Those are great questions. So first, if it's a game neither of us have played, it's going to the have not played section. If it's a game that you've played but I haven't, I'm going to leave it up to you to vouch for it. If it's a game we've both played but have differing opinions on, we'll find the diplomatic middle ground and we'll put it there. So there's have not played, then the lowest is F, then of course D, C, B, A, and of course S is number 1. So I would say S is like all-time untouchable. You know, no game is perfect, but they might as well be masterpieces. A is not masterpiece level quite, but still very, very great, and like one of the best games ever made. You should try. B, I would say close to being great, like a solid, really good game that's with a few things that holds it back. C would be like middling, where it's definitely not like offensive in its not, you know, it's jankiness doesn't make it unplayable. It's just not as good as the other ones, but it's not bad by any means. D is when we start getting into bad, I would assume. Still not quite F, meaning that there are things here and there in it that actually are redeemable. Keeping it from an F. F would just be utter garbage, irredeemable. Would you agree with those?
Yeah, gutter trash.
Gutter trash. Fish market waste. Wharf waste. Okay, so we now have the ratings. Is there anything else, questions you have before we start?
I don't think so.
Alright, so the first game on the list is one that I've seen you play and that I know you enjoyed to a certain degree, but let's find out how much. That's Sonic Unleashed, aka Where Sonic.
Yeah, so this game has a reputation. I'm not going to dispute the game's reputation.
What's its reputation?
I think that it's not very good. I mean, what's new?
I remember it being kind of like, I mean, people were kind of thirsting for anything good from Sonic, so I remember seeing in a few places that it's like, of all the bad ones recently, it's the least bad, is what people would say.
It was one of the ones, I forget the exact year it came out, but it was pretty soon after Sonic 2006, and I think that has something to do with it.
Was it the first one after it?
No, I think there were a couple. Like, there's one on the Wii, Sonic and the Secret Rings, which I haven't played.
Okay, well, we'll get to those. But, okay, so despite its reputation, what did you think were its merits and flaws? Where would you put it? S, A, B, C, D, F?
I'd probably put it at a C or a D. The thing is, like, it has some kind of 3D platforming running stages starting out that are fun, and the environments you go around in look really nice. Does it
look like Spain or something?
Yeah, there's a bunch of levels that are all based on like different countries around the world. has a very like, I don't know, National Geographic kind of theming to the game.
Where in the
Yeah,
world is Carmen, Sonic, Ego? Yeah, the
yeah,
level
yeah,
you showed me was like very Mediterranean and pretty. I guess
yeah,
I'm wondering if like the central premise justifies itself. Like, why is he turning into a thing? Like, is that just the late, just a gimmick kind of?
yeah, some like space crystal curse or something. I can't remember, but so whenever it becomes night, he becomes a bulky werewolf hog thing, and it turns into kind of a cheap God of War knockoff. Or
Man Bear Pig? He turns into a Man Bear Pig?
yeah, basically. Cheap Devil May Cry knockoff, I should say.
Interesting, yeah. And I'm wondering how long before Twilight Princess came out with turning into a wolf thing. But I don't know if
I think
that's...
Twilight Princess was first, because that was on the GameCube.
Yeah, and
I think that game came out in like 2009 or 11 or something.
Oh, whoa. Okay, somebody invaded our... guess I should...
Nice.
Is that you, Gloom?
Yeah.
How would you like me to refer to you? We're actually recording something.
Oh shit! My bad.
No.
not bad at
It's
all.
awesome to have another voice. Do you have some time?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
If I'm making too much noise, y'all are welcome to tell me to fuck off because I'm multitasking.
That's fine. No, we're doing a first episode of a podcast idea that I was gonna later invite you to do, but this works out well. We're ranking.
Actually,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
He wasn't
invaded,
at you, but I was.
I've actually invaded a live recording this same way before.
You have a history of it.
Yeah.
Wow, you're a criminal.
You know the Scum Capes guys, they were recording and I thought they were hanging out and I just go in there and start talking. They're like, whoa, wait a minute. So this is my second invasion.
Kind of unironically how success in general works. You kind of have to just show up where you're not invited and just pretend you're supposed to be there, and then you might get kicked out, but then you have some connections, and then boom, you're directing the new Star Wars movie. You know,
I'm the world's first podcast bomber.
Exactly, and
but
at
anyway,
least there's no.
Carry on, guys.
Well, yeah. Well, now that you're here, we'd love you to jump in on the games that you've played. So we're doing sort of one of the few trends I actually wanted to get on board with, which is ranking with the tiers and stuff. Does that make sense? Like the tier rankings that people make?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just good games in general, or?
Well, we're specific. Oh no. Specifically, we're starting with Sonic because there's such a wide range of quality, and Jehmil here and I, he goes by Jehmil on the podcast, and we have differing opinions and stuff. Like, I'm more of a classic Sonic fan, he's more of a 3D Sonic fan, and neither of us are like furry type Sonic fans, which is like what anyone our age still talking about Sonic usually is. So we thought we have a unique perspective.
Yeah. I don't know if I would call myself a fan or just someone who has some nostalgia for.
Well, I'm currently playing Adventure. I'm currently playing Adventure 1, which is what inspired this. So I'd say I'm just such a Sega guy that, of course, I'm a Sonic fan. And I have it's nostalgia, but I think some of the old games hold up incredibly well. And even
I really like Sonic Adventure. Is that what you were saying? That
the first one.
The catalyst for this,
Yeah, I was finally. I never beat it, and I kind of wrote off the 3D games as a kid, but there's stuff to like in it despite all the jank and stuff. And anyway, so we just placed the very first game, Sonic Unleashed, on the C tier because I've never played it, but Rob has, and
what'd you say?
I mean, Jehmil has. Sorry.
Cut.
Well, that's another one of your many online aliases. Jehmil, Rob, Ghosty, they're all fake. It's not. None of them are your real name. Yeah, Ron. None of them are your real name. Your real name starts with an R, but it's not Rob or Ron or anything like that. So
Rocco. This is Rocco Bodie.
Yeah, but Jehmil, no, he has more. He's funnier. So Sonic Unleashed, you saying, had some beautiful vistas, kind of like a world-hopping, globe-trotting game, but the battle system was like you were saying, Devil May Cry, God of War ripoff, right?
Yeah, it's like it's like themed after National Geographic or like the Live Aid Feed the World concert or whatever. It's like all these beautiful pictures of the Earth in a made
Before
into
you do the music,
Depeche Mode cameo.
Yeah.
Howard Jones piano solo.
Mhm.
That's funny
Yeah.
because Sonic. So that means the Sonic is connected to both Michael Jackson and Freddie Mercury in a strange way. Huh?
It's not a bad thing for Sonic.
Oh, not at all.
It works.
Their music is better than Crush 40's, technically.
Oh, dude, not to derail, but well, I mean it's related, but the music in Frontiers is really fucking good.
Wow. Okay.
You'll
It's
have
really good. Have you guys already talked about Frontiers? And
We talked about it, and having not played it, well, not on this, no, just in private talked about it. But Rob was gonna try it when it goes on sale. Right? I mean, Jehmil, sorry, you were gonna try it when it goes on sale, right?
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah.
Have you actually played it, Gloom?
I've played a little bit of it. It's the gameplay's all right. The like the open world hub area is really boring.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten really far to make a judgment. But what I've seen so far is very barren, and I think there's even like a line Sonic makes.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of self-referential, like talking about how it's barren.
Where is everybody? Where's the gameplay?
Yeah. So basically, what everybody's saying is like it's fun, but the environments suck. Kind of reminds me of what people were saying about that Pokemon game, the Arceus one.
Well, at least that's better than what they're saying about those other new ones. From what I've seen, but
those could have been good. It feels like they gave those off to like Chinese mobile game developers or something. That's just what it feels like.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the introduction of the Pokedex social credit system definitely kind of felt like a Chinese addition, but
yeah.
Before we get too behind, though, we can. The nature of this podcast is to literally talk about whatever, even if we don't finish all the ranking. But we should at least jump to the next one. Has anybody played Sonic 4?
Oh, you know
I don't
what?
even know what that is.
It was okay. Remember when they went back and made Mega Man 11 and did retro Mega Mans again?
Mega Man 9 and stuff.
And people liked them.
Oh, okay.
They did the same with Sonic. They made an official sequel to 3 called Sonic the Hedgehog 4. But people hated it, and it was episodic and stuff.
Yeah, I think it was released in 2 episodes as like downloadable. Might have been on the Wii or something. I don't even remember.
It didn't seem to do anything new whatsoever.
Yeah. So this one's kind of gotten the Postal 3 treatment, where they kind of pretend it doesn't exist, and I mean, you can still get it. But
so we'll just put have not played.
Yeah, okay. I played it for about 10 minutes. It's like classic Sonic. I mean, superficially, but it's got the homing attack and stuff from the 3D game. So what I played was just kind of easy and boring, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird because a lot of the classic fans don't like the homing attack thing, and so it's
that's a big part of the new one.
Yeah, so it's who's that for then? If it's like a bad mixture of both.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think it serves a good purpose or a decent purpose in the 3D
for sure.
game.
Yeah. Okay, what about Sonic Rivals? I'm actually not sure what that is. Is that a racing game?
Is that like Mario versus Sonic or something?
That's like the Olympic Games one, right?
Okay.
I know Sonic
Are
Jet.
you going in an order?
I'm going in the order,
releases of stuff? Okay.
Random order that this list gave me, because I felt like since we both are so separated by era that we like, it would be kind of boring to just do all the classics in a row and me have more opinion than Jehmil does.
Yeah.
Sonic Rivals, I guess we'll just put have not played it. We don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know I've heard of it, but I can't.
Yeah.
It looks like the one that came out where they were all like grinding on boards and like there was a green green bird character, but it's not that one. It's not Sonic Jetters or whatever that was.
Sonic Jetters was something else entirely. I think Sonic Rush is not Sonic.
Rush is Riders. Yeah, that's what.
Riders.
And I see later there's Rivals 2. This could be like a phone game for all I know. But I'm just putting them both and have not played. There's also a lot of repeats here for some reason. Putting Sonic 4 again on
releases.
Sonic Triple Trouble for the Game Gear. I don't think any of us have played.
No, have not.
I've heard it's actually not that bad. Like amongst Game Gear, which has mostly bad games. Okay, Sonic Rush. This guy was received well. I remember. I've not played it though.
Yeah, same here.
It's on DS, right?
Yeah, it's on the DS, I think kind of following in the format of the Game Boy Advance Sonic games.
Yeah, which are pretty good.
I've
played one of those. But...
Did you play Rush, Gloom?
No, but I remember the cover. Like, it had, like, a very, like, mid-2000s kind of anime style on the cover, I think.
It's got a new character. I think she's new in Rush. The cat lady in the background. Yeah. Okay, now we're getting to some, how do I say this? Actual games. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I'm saying A. It's not quite S, but A. For me. That's the one I played the most as a kid, even though
same.
It's not the one that I go to now, but I've played it the most. I think it's one of the only classic ones I actually beat without emulation or anything.
That's the one with like the very talked about soundtrack, right?
That could be. I mean, all of them have great ones, but you may be thinking of 3 with Michael Jackson's involvement and stuff.
Okay, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so 3 is a different. We'll get to that. But Sonic 2 is like, first of all, Sonic 1 is not a very good game. Like even Sonic fans have come to. Sonic 2 is like when the series really started, in my opinion. Because Sonic 1 is just like punishingly hard, and music and visuals are nice and everything, but no one ever talks about it. No one has like favorite zones from Sonic 1. It's all from Sonic 2 is
Green Hill, the first one, and then you turn it off.
Yeah, the one of 1,000 Green Hill zones throughout the series. Yeah. Sonic 2 has Chemical Plant Zone, which is just an utter classic. It has like what is it? I don't know what they're called, but the ruins level where it's like almost like Aztec ruins.
Yeah, the casino level.
Casino level, yes, absolutely. And then the final level is like on the giant airship, and you fight a huge mech of Robotnik. It's a classic. It's not as good as 3, but I'll put it on A.
The advanced games, were those like GBA ports?
No, they're actually brand new games, I think.
No, they did have a GBA port of the first Sonic.
It was so zoomed in, you couldn't do anything.
Separate from those, and apparently sucks.
Yeah.
Because I did play the advanced ones, and I wasn't sure, like, if I'd played the classic ones by playing those, or they were their own thing.
Depends on what it was called. If it was called Sonic Advance, then no.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if it was Sonic the Hedgehog...
We'll probably get to that, but those are good.
Now, this is one where nostalgia tries to creep in and affect me, but I can't let it, because technically I couldn't beat the second level. And I can't say a game is good if I can't even beat the second level. Sonic 3D Blast. So this is not technically the first 3D game. It's more of an isometric deal. And it also wasn't made by Sonic Team. It was made by Traveler's Tales, of all people. But the music is so fantastic that it makes me think it's good, but it's not very well made.
Yeah, and Traveler's Tales, it does, the stages do kind of look a little like Lego blocks.
They do a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I have a little nostalgia for this game, I guess, but I wouldn't say it's great. I did played as a kid. It was cool to move around in a 3D environment.
Yeah, it felt 3D, and I liked.
Before I had an N64, but
you would collect flickies. You just had to find all the flickies, which are the birds, and then bring them back to the ring, and that's pretty repetitive every level. And you could find Knuckles standing around. He'd have a bonus stage, I remember. But the boss of level 2, I just could not beat. And I don't even think it's because I was a kid, because I was able to beat Sonic 2 as a kid. I just think it's a little poorly designed. But we did put Sonic Unleashed at C, making me think, is this C worthy or D worthy? I mean, it's not. If the game you just love it because of the music, that's not really great.
Yeah, I'd put it on par with Unleashed, or maybe a grade lower. So I'd say a C or a D. You can decide.
Okay, if I put Sonic 3D Blast on D, do you think that it's fair to put Unleashed on D too, or?
Yeah, I mean, Unleashed has the levels that are fun, but it's just kind of,
maybe that
like you put
maybe
that
that is
on your plate next to the broccoli or whatever you don't like.
Gosh, that is kind of C. That does sound like C. And Sonic 3D Blast, it's just very hard to control and kind of weird. I'll put it at D, but I'll make the caveat that it has a special place in my heart regardless. Okay, Sonic Generations. Do you ever play this one, Gloom?
No.
Okay, Jehmil probably has something to say about this one.
Is that the one with that, Mario Cartwright's husband made an intro for or something?
Oh no, that's Sonic Mania. That's it.
Okay.
I can't wait to get to that one.
Yeah, you can probably tell by now, I am not a Sonic expert.
No, that should be on your resume for every job. That's a good thing.
Yeah, as a strength.
No, yeah, we're self-aware about how stupid this is that we like Sonic. But
well,
Sonic,
you are.
Sonic I still unabashedly love some of the games. Sonic Generations was sort of the first thing to lead to the one you're talking about. So, when everything was just even though name Sonic meant utter trash, Sonic Generations sort of quasi redeemed the series, or at least got people thinking positively about it again, and kind of paved the way for Sonic Mania to completely show that it can actually be great. But Sonic Generations is where old Sonic or modern Sonic with the 3D levels, he remixes with the old one.
Okay, yeah, I remember all the promotional stuff, making it multiverse looking stuff.
Yeah, but before all the MCU multiverse shit.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Jehmil?
Oh yeah, I really like this one. I think it's really a
I was surprised by it. I think you either brought it over or gave me a copy, or I forget what it was, but yeah, I was surprised that I did enjoy it. It was mostly just kind of member berries stuff. But it was delivered well and it was fun to play. It wasn't just surface level. I mean, Sonic Mania, you could say, is member berries. It's just constant references. But with that one, they're obscure references, and they're also woven into the actual gameplay where it completely makes sense. I'd say Generations is just a little less than that, where it is kind of a greatest hits remix album. But there's nothing wrong with that. I'd say it's a B.
Yeah, I'd say so too. I think there's one or two levels that aren't that great in my opinion. Sure. It is a little on the short side.
It's better than Unleashed, but it's not as good as Sonic 2, so it's got to be a B.
Yeah.
Okay, here we get to Sonic Adventure, which I can't fully judge because I haven't beaten it, but it's always been one that I liked. I think it holds up pretty well compared to a lot of... I mean, it's better... I was telling Jehmil, Sonic Adventure is sort of the Resident Evil 4 of Sonic, where it changed everything and, did this masterful change or whatever, but then everything after it just tried to be that, and it kind of also ruined the franchise. So it's bittersweet. It's this game ruled, and so did its sequel, but then every game after just tried to do that.
Yeah, one thing I like about Sonic Adventure is, even though it was a big new 3D thing, you still have I think more remnants of the 2D games games visually than future 3D games. Like Sonic Adventure 2 went for a very, 2000s edgy kind of like skater dude attitude. But
which one
Sonic...
had the weird like liquid monster boss?
This one.
That's this one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I played this one.
I think that's...
I have a lot of good memories about this.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, Sonic getting a 3D game isn't coming out of left field. We saw that coming, but what it was about is sort of out of left field and pretty weird for a Sonic game. Like,
yeah.
And I've been finding out. Yeah. Yeah, it starts in an urban environment, and then it's like a... Because I saw a video where it was the making of, and the team actually took a trip to like Aztec pyramids and all these different places to actually like understand the geography or whatever. And I don't know, that's pretty cool to me that they put that much work into like wanting to... Not a lot of teams do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, yeah. I like the like old ancient theme of the plot. I love that it's not just Robotnik as the bad guy. It's like this ancient power that he's trying to use or whatever. I mean, the plot's whatever. It's Sonic, but it's still cool. A cooler plot than most of the other games.
Dude, I have a lot of vivid memories about like the era around like that when that game was released. I remember using the Dreamcast kiosk at Walmart.
Yeah.
And I grew up poor, so I was never getting a Dreamcast.
Sure.
So I'm there like trying to play and like absorb as much as I can before my mom like comes trying to find me and telling me we have to leave or something. And just like being, I don't know, blown away by that game. Because that was the transition from like PS1 to PS2, wasn't it? Like that.
More or less, yeah.
I think Dreamcast was basically like PlayStation 1.5 kind of graphics, if I remember.
Yeah, in some cases,
like PS2.
Some case better than PS2.
Yeah, I've heard that. I didn't have a Dreamcast. I would play it at my friends, and like I'm talking like we were both poor, so like years after a Dreamcast was even like relevant, we would play his old Dreamcast and we would play Sonic Adventure and put in hours into the Chow Garden, and it was, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I had fun. For my childhood, at least, like maybe later teens I did, but I never had whatever my main system I was playing was never the newest one. It was always one generation behind. Because I couldn't afford it, but then around PS3 or something it started changing, but now it's sort of like oh, go ahead.
PS1 came out. No, I was just saying I had a Super Nintendo when the PS1 came out.
And that's what kind of I think like made my love for retro gaming, because I had to make do with what I have, and I realized that like everybody's rushing forward, but they're forgetting like all these unsung.
That's definitely something that's like lost on current generations of kids, because like back then, like even though we didn't grow up in the era of that console, we would still play it because either money or it was our parents or something, and like I don't know. I feel like gaming and like entertainment period is kind of more like a. And I can't think of a good word, but it's like kind of like ambiguous. And when it even fucking came out too, like you can't pinpoint an era very easily. There's just a lot of things that are uniquely, like they're just in our generation, and it's just gonna get further lost.
Yeah, unless we make brave and stunning videos like this to keep it alive. We are the soldiers on the front line of morality. I'd say Sonic Adventure is more memorable and more important than Sonic Generations. Therefore, it has to be an A.
It's
no S, but no one would claim, even the biggest fans of it would say it's no S, unless they allowed nostalgia to come in. I mean, it's got problems. No, but it's definitely a solid A. It's a great game.
It's got some jank, but it's a really fun time, really good.
Exactly.
Atmosphere. I'm okay with putting it at A.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on Game Gear, none of us played. Okay, we're to Sonic 1, which it was the first Sonic game and like the second Genesis game or video game period that I ever had. And I don't know if did you play it, Rob, ever, the first one?
Yeah, I've gotten a decent way into it. I mean, the problem is,
they had to
Green
start
Hill
somewhere.
Zone. Yeah, Green Hill Zone was pretty cool and new, and when I was a little kid, that's all I ever got through because it was someone else's game. But then going back later, the zones following it, like I think the next one is called like Marble Cave Zone or something.
Yeah, that's when it got impossible.
It stops being what the Sonic that we know, and they try to make it just a
it's less
like
speed related.
Platformer.
Yeah, it's not speed related at all.
You're jumping on platforms and confined spaces way more.
And so many times in the first one, you're punished when you're going like speedy around loops and stuff, and then you just hit a thing of spikes.
Like super jarring to go back to.
Yeah, it's not great, but the respect has to be there for where it all started. So I'd say a C.
Yeah.
It's definitely not as bad as a D, but not as good as a B.
Yeah.
The way I remember Sonic games is by trying to remember like the aesthetics. And I think I did play the first Sonic. If that's the one where Sonic looked like the most, like, I mean, this is so obvious, but like simple. Like he was like very like circular shit, right?
Yes.
In the first one? Yeah, I played it. I played some of it.
It's not horrible, but it just with the sequels to compare it to, you'd have to be really, really in love with the game to. Okay, now we get to what I would consider probably the first S, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Not just Sonic 3, but and Knuckles. Do you know that whole debacle at all, Gloom?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so Sonic 3 was supposed to be this huge game. It had amazing music. Michael Jackson contributed to it in enigmatic ways we're not sure of, though. That we do know which tracks they are, because those are the ones that aren't present on any newer versions of it.
Yeah, that was like a proto kind of Mick Gordon kind of fiasco music-wise.
Yes, with id and everything. But although I don't know if it was the fiasco or if they are like distancing themselves from MJ, or he died and the rights were all tied up. It might be a little.
They never proved anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like all the legend around it. It's more entertaining than the game to me. I haven't played it. So.
I'd say both are entertaining. The game's fantastic, and Knuckles there's a whole second half of the game that wasn't released, and so they released it, but as a cartridge that you opened up, and it had another cartridge slot on the cartridge, and you put Sonic 3 into. So the game was called and Knuckles was the name of the game, and you put Sonic 3 into the top of it, so you'd have two cartridges, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and you have this massive game, in which like there's nary a bad level. But yeah, it's considered probably the best by many people of the classic ones. You were gonna say something, Jehmil?
Oh, I was just gonna say Michael Jackson had his own game on the Genesis.
Oh yeah. Let's not forget Moonwalker. Probably better than 3D Blast or Sonic 1. So, I think it deserves S, but I don't. Rob, Jehmil, have you had much experience with it?
Yeah, be careful. Yeah, I haven't played. Probably the classic one I played the most is 2.
That is the one I've played the most for sure, because it wasn't till I was older that I even had the lock-on cartridge. That I only played Sonic 3, which I liked, but I never liked it as much as 2. But then once I played Sonic 3 and Knuckles and got the full picture, I was like, whoa, this was a really weirdly handled masterpiece.
Yeah. I will go with your judgment on that one, and I'm okay with giving it an S. What I have played is very nice looking, very nice sounding, and I like that they had more variety of power-ups, like the elemental shields instead of just a basic one, kind of magnetic.
And it was the first to have actual quote-unquote storytelling, kind of how Half-Life would later do it. Like, I guess not like Half-Life, actually, because it does stop, but there's no words or anything. Forget the Half-Life thing, but it would, yeah, like the beginning of the
I know
game.
what you're trying to say.
You're flying in the jet with Tails, and then you see the jungle like being. You play the first act of the jungle, I think, maybe, and it's clean, and then it gets just firebombed, and then you're just in a burning jungle, and then you find out like Knuckles did it, and he's there laughing, and then he steals the emerald. So it's just like little things like that. You actually felt more engaged with like what was going on rather than just Zone 1, Zone 2. Make it up. Like, who cares? But
Yeah.
and then it also introduced Knuckles, period, and like his entire Angel Island, floating island that he came from, with all the echidnas. That whole lore of the ancient stuff on that island is like probably my favorite stuff in all of Sonic. That's why I wanted to play Adventure, because I heard it's a big part of that.
Yeah, that and Knuckles rapping is my two favorite parts of Sonic.
Exactly. Sonic Blast, I think that's just like a proto 3D Blast for Game Gear or something. It's something none of us played, I don't think. Sonic the Hedgehog, we already did that one. Okay, Sonic Rush Adventure. So that was after all the Rush games, they made an RPG. Did you ever play that, Jehmil?
No, I didn't. Wasn't that made by the BioWare, the like Mass Effect people?
I think it was. Yes, that's insane.
Yeah.
I might have to check that out.
The one thing I know about that game is the villain is like a shitty recolor of Eggman called
yeah, I kind of see him. He looks like a pirate.
Ball Man or something, and because the explanation, he's from another world, but it just looks like every 12-year-old fan's custom drawing.
Yeah, on the cover he looks original Bumster. In game the sprite probably is just a reskin or something. Okay, so the Sonic Advances, you said you played a few of them, Rob. Was one of them 3? Sonic
What did you say?
Jehmil? Oh, Jesus Christ. Sonic Advance 3?
Sonic Advance 3, haven't played it. Or at least don't have memories of it.
Did you play that one, Gloom? You said you played some of the advanced ones.
Okay, so I either played 2 or 3, or 1 and 2. I don't know.
Okay, but you liked them.
I don't know if they all have this, but the one I played, like when you would defeat an enemy, like the chows would come out, or these little animals, and not chows, they're like little animals, like tiny little elephants.
That's pretty much from the first, maybe second Sonic game onwards. That's like a series staple. Is that Eggman is like captured little innocent creatures and put them in robots. That's like his whole shtick.
Yeah, like a hamster wheel to power them or whatever.
Yeah, if he's Richard Gere, then like putting robots with animals is sort of his hamster thing. It's very weird. It's throughout the whole series.
Richard Gear.
Which is cool because they brought that back in.
I was sitting with that for a while, like wondering who was going to get there first.
Richard Game Gear.
Nice.
There you go.
Well, yeah, they brought it back in Adventure and actually made sense then when all the animals you'd rescue out of the bad guys would show up in the Chow Garden, and then you could like breed them with the Chow and make weird, monstrous Dr. Mengele experiments.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you don't remember which Sonic Advance games you play, we could just put them all in one category that you think they belong. Since I don't think... Do you have many opinions on them, Jehmil?
No, I mean, I played some of the first one. It's pretty good. But I don't have enough experience to form an opinion.
Would you say they're like C tier, Gloom? Did we lose them?
Maybe we did.
I was making a lot of noise, so I had to mute. So what was your question?
We could just put, since we have vague opinions on them and you're not sure exactly which ones you played, we could just put all of them in one tier.
Yeah. I mean, they're all a blur anyway.
Yeah, a blue blur.
Yeah, they're good. I like them. Yeah, there you go.
So are they be like C tier, you think?
No, I would say like B.
Okay. Well,
I remember them like fondly. I put a lot of hours into those on the couch on my GBA. So
sure.
I don't know. They felt like good games.
Sure. I don't. Yeah, someone could take issue with like which specific one is better, but we're just gonna put them all on B just for the hell of it.
So maybe I could like pinpoint which one I played. It had Cream in it. I know that.
I think she's in all of them, but
oh, okay. Well,
I think
that doesn't help.
at least is she in the first? I mean, that's like the series that invented her or whatever. To my knowledge.
I honestly can't remember, so
We'll just put them in B. It's sounds good to me. We'll consider them all as one though for anyone watching it. If there's one that's better than another, just live with it. Sonic. Okay, I can't read the name of this one, but it's the one where he has a stupid fucking sword. Sonic and the Black Knight.
Sonic and the Black Knight. Yeah.
Anybody play that one?
No. I like to think it has Martin Lawrence in it.
That would be awesome.
When did this game come out?
It's like Wii era, I think. The Wii Sonic ones are really kind of strange. Like they're trying to find some sort of idea to make Sonic work. And that one was just like medieval thing. And now we have the next one, Sonic and the Secret of the Rings.
Yeah.
Which I think one of these has like actually some pretty cool like genie bad guys or something, or a genie
Probably
villain.
Secret Rings, because that was like a 1001 or
yeah. So like
type of thing.
All of these, I probably would have praise for like the art team and stuff. I'm sure they're okay. It's just we didn't play them, and they probably are mediocre gameplay wise.
I've heard Sonic and the Black Knight is pretty bad from.
I'm sure Secret of the Rings is bad, but I think like Unleashed was the one out of those that was the best, right?
Probably. I mean, unless you count like colors and generations.
We'll get that. But yeah, like the gimmick era where it's like, what if Sonic had a sword? What if Sonic had what if the rings were like a thing he used? What if
Unleashed is pretty gimmicky.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
A werehog.
It's part of the gimmick years.
Oh,
but
okay.
We're saying it's the least bad of the gimmick years. And
okay.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a controversial one. This, I guess, in some regions was going to be Adventure 3, Sonic Heroes. It's on the Xbox, PS2, GameCube. It's like a lesser version of the adventure games. It's kind of more streamlined.
Yeah. Streamlined. It's also, you have to... It presents itself as having 4 different like story modes you can follow, but really what it is like different difficulty levels of the same 10 stage.
Which Adventure was guilty of that as well, repeating stages, but at least it was in a different context of some kind.
Yeah.
Sonic Hero, all these games have really corny hair metal songs, but this one had probably the corniest to me personally.
Probably the worst, yeah. It's got some good music in the stages themselves.
Oh, for sure. I just mean of the... I don't know if it was Crush 40 or who did the Sonic Heroes song, but I know it's hypocritical, and it's like Adventure 1 and 2 had real cringe rock too, but you grow to like weirdly love those songs, whereas Sonic Heroes, the theme song, just always annoyed me.
Sonic Heroes theme was just somehow cringe causing, even if you enjoyed the first.
I mean, I'm sure there was like a Sonic original character creator fan who wrote fanfic and sadly passed away and chose to have it played on bagpipes at his funeral, but for us kind of just trash. So we're gonna put I don't think it's F worthy though. I'd say D.
Oh no. D, yeah, I'd say
it's really more closer to C.
I could even give it a C.
Yeah, it's close to C. I love the fact that Chaotix was in it because I always liked them from the comics, and I never played the original Chaotix game, so I was like really thrilled that they were in it. But that isn't really enough to make it a great game, just because characters are in it.
Yeah.
Okay, Sonic Adventure 2, and this seems to be Sonic Adventure 2. It doesn't say Battle from what I'm seeing, but maybe it's the only one on this list. I'm trying to see.
I wouldn't mind combining them.
Yeah, we'll just combine them.
Battle just had the the battle mode or whatever.
Yeah.
Different graphics, whatever.
People love this game. I had a lot of fun with it when I was younger. I know you did too, Jehmil. How about you, Gloom? You ever played this one?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I played Adventure and Adventure DX.
Yeah, I'd say it's...
Was that like a GameCube port?
Yeah, if it's guilty of anything, it's for introducing Shadow, I guess. But it had a lot of other great stuff in it. I would say it's like not as original and cool as as Adventure, but it's probably a B.
Yeah, it's definitely still janky in places, but I do think the gameplay was a little more consistent and polished. Less glitches or like clipping through walls than Adventure 1 in my experience.
Exactly.
I don't like the atmosphere as much. The music is cheesy, but I love it. Like the aforementioned Knuckles raps.
I think the gameplay they kind of improved a bit too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just a little harder to clip through walls, even if there's still issues.
The stuff was like just a little smoother as far as controls and stuff, if I recall.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of pros. It's just not Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, it was also kind of the first one to be that like modern edgy Sonic, where they had like a crossover with
soap
shoes.
Yeah, so you can grind.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of thing.
I mean, they'd done so much crossover marketing before that it would be unfair to just pin that on that one, but it was pretty blatant.
I just mean more like what it's marketing with, like like theater culture.
It's definitely but that's like what was in at the time, so
I mean,
maybe that makes it more dated than Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, Just Set Radio was around the same time too by Sega, and that's.
But that was way more original.
Got a little, visually.
I mean, graffiti. Doing graffiti while roller skating, to my knowledge, was not like a huge scene or anything. Like graffiti was and rollerblading was, but the combination was pretty original. Okay, Sonic Colors. Anybody?
Yeah, I played that on DS.
Oh, the DS version. Okay.
I played the one on Wii all the way through. So
and both versions you guys enjoyed?
Pretty much different games, I think.
Oh. Well, we'll just combine them for the sake of it.
Okay.
Did you enjoy your time with this game, either of you?
I liked it. I mean, on DS it was pretty cool. Was that the one? I remember it being good, but I don't remember what happened.
It was probably 3DS, right? Was it on 3DS or DS?
I think it was on DS.
Okay. There's like
me if I'm wrong,
little glowy colored thingamajigs that fly around or something.
Yeah, weren't there like powers and stuff? Like
yes,
kind of like Legend of Starfy. I know that's a crazy reference.
No, I know the reference. That's like a late DS game. It looked really good. I never played it.
You can turn into different shit. I might be conflating those two games.
Well,
but I remember.
I think they both have that.
Yeah, okay.
And what did you?
I remember this guy,
put it?
He peer pressured me into buying it because there's like a GameStop guy. And he was like, "It's good, I promise, buy it." And I was like, I guess I'll pre-order it.
That 100% was like one of those Sonic fans that we're talking about, who's like, if people don't buy this one, they're gonna stop making them, and then I won't have stuff to use as porn anymore. So
yeah.
So I gotta evangelize about it and be like, have you heard the good word of Sonic Colors, my good man?
That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah. Personally, I like, I prefer Sonic of Colors. It's more politically correct. But
SOCs.
Yeah. But so we're going C here, since it was enjoyable, but nobody can remember a ton about it.
I actually, I mean, it's a different game, so
yeah, we played different versions. So I can only speak for the DS.
The Wii version is fun. It was, I think, so it came out before Generations, and it was kind of the first Sonic game
to be okay.
At least kind of like mainline. Yeah, it was the first one in a while to be
Oh,
you know,
I
not
see.
have anything seriously wrong with it.
This one's
And-
marked Nintendo DS, so we'll put the DS one on C, and then the
All right.
main one on B. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Gloom, you in agreement there?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play the console one, so.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, so that one, it was the first one to not have like glaring problems. You were saying.
In a while, yeah.
Yeah.
3D
Okay.
anyway.
So we put that at B. Okay, now this one, you know, if there's one S, there has to always be a second S, and I gotta say, Sonic 06 is S tier, baby. I'm kidding.
What does the S stand for?
For Sonic 06?
Shitty.
Yeah, shitty. That would have been
All right.
the Philistines'
Yeah.
answer, but I'm a fancy connoisseur of Sonic 06. I understand its flaws, but no, but
I've never
yeah.
played it actually, so if you say it's good, I'll
No,
go
I've never played it. It's just, what if it was one of those that it's like it's a bandwagon thing where everyone says it sucks, and then you play it and it's actually good?
Yeah, it's like if I actually bothered to listen to Nickelback, who knows? They could be my favorite band.
They could.
Yeah.
I think I did bother
so
a little bit. I can say no on that one, but yeah, go ahead.
06 was the one with like the Final Fantasy princess, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything
Okay,
else
yeah.
wrong. Yeah.
Bringing back
Yeah.
Sonic's human girlfriend from the
Yeah.
scrap original concept.
Yeah, that's true. But we're putting it at. Although we really can't put it F because none of us played it. So let's be fair.
Yeah.
Have not played.
I think I played like a second of it on Xbox 360 at Walmart.
Yeah.
It's the
I
best
couldn't
way
judge
to
the
play
whole
Sonic.
game.
Sonic
Yeah,
Lost.
that's pretty much a reoccurring thing. Playing Sonic at Walmart.
Sonic Lost
They're both
World.
blue.
This one I confused with colors for some reason, and it also has a DS and a console version. What was
Lost
Lost
World.
World?
Lost World. Oh, Lost World.
Is that
yeah,
the one with
was
Vince
a
Vaughn
Wii
and
U
Julianne
game.
Moore?
No. That was a Wii U
I was
game.
gonna make a very similar joke. I was gonna say it opens with little velociraptors eating a child.
Yeah, eating Amy Rose's daughter or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So nobody
I don't
played this
remember
one.
that one.
Okay, so that's not
No.
played. We're almost
Yeah.
through. Okay, Sonic Mania, I think, is the triumphant love letter to the series. The only problem with it is that it, like every other level, is a classic level that like we've all already played, but they still did enough to alter them. But the levels that are original in it are genuinely as good, if not better, than any classic Sonic levels. It's because it's like somebody made. I'm trying to think of a good analogy here. So it's like if somebody. You ever gone back to Toy Story 1 recently?
It's been a few years, but I remember.
I remember seeing
Seeing-
clips from it.
Not like animation as much as I originally did.
Oh, it's like so dated that it's insane. It's like horrible to look at compared to, what came after. But it'd be like
Yeah, it was
going
pretty
back,
gross.
remaking Toy Story 1 with like modern technology, but still keeping the same models and everything, but like making the animation modern, if that makes sense. So it's like Sonic Mania is still all sprites from the old games, but they like move in ways and do things that they never could have done on the Genesis, and like there's huge set pieces, and it's just incredible. It's an incredible game. It's that Tyson Hesse dude who like kind of is being viewed as the sort of messiah hope for Sonic.
Yeah, the same guy also helped spearhead that whole like big Sonic movement, right?
The what Sonic movie?
For the film
Yes.
to like fix Sonic in the movie.
Yes,
Oh.
and I think the guy you're talking about from Cartwright's boyfriend or whatever, his name is, what is his name? Is that Tyson Hesse?
Oh, I thought Tyson had something to do with it. Because I remember there was like a Mega 64 podcast where they're like, "Oh, we influenced a Hollywood movie."
Oh yeah, Tyson Hesse, and then also, I'm sorry, Christian Whitehead is like the genius behind Sonic Mania, I guess. Also, so him and these are just names that float around, but I think this Whitehead dude is the guy who's like kind of saving Sonic for many people, and Tyson Hess is helping, especially with the animations and stuff. But I would put Sonic Mania at S, personally. I had a ton of surprising fun. Did you ever play it, Jehmil?
Yeah, I did. Not all the way through. I did like it.
But yeah, like the Western level, there was like a city level. There's just some levels that were insane. It was like stuff that little young me would dream a Sonic game could do, but it just couldn't do.
Yeah, that movie studio zone is really...
That's the one. That one, like, absolutely blew me away. It's so creative, and there's tons of humor in it. Like, there's lots of really funny stuff that's, like, not cringe at all. It's just genuinely fun. Like, there's a boss, when you get to it, from the oil plant zone, that is, like, a notoriously kind of hated boss. And so when you get to it, you're like, oh, this guy again, or whatever. But then it changes so that the boss challenges you to a game of Mean Bean, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which is a separate game from the time.
That's awesome.
And so the boss is you fighting the boss via Mean Bean Machine, so you don't have to actually fight the... Like, there's so many... And it's just... Like, in a Marvel movie, if it did that and it was like a whole scene or whatever, I'd like roll my eyes. It's like a game. It's like a fast moving...
Dance-off.
It's like a...
Guardians of the Galaxy dance-off.
Yeah, exactly. Which...
That happened, right? Am I making that up? Like,
pretty sure that happened.
Yeah, okay.
I remember thinking that movie was better than the majority of the Marvel movies at the time, and not hating it. But then, you know, things kept getting worse. But
oh my god! So, not spend a lot of time on this, but it was on at my local comic shop, like during the Black Friday thing they had, and it's so fucking bad.
The first one?
When you first saw it, it's like, that was okay. But if you watch it now, it's like, this is fucking corny.
Yeah.
Like, I hate the whole Peter Quill likes, like, Walkman music shit. Like, that's so dumb to me.
It's Nick and Nora's infinite playlists in space.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so...
It was just not charming. It was annoying when I was watching it there. But anyway.
So not to make this a dictatorship, Rob, Jehmil, do you think that Sonic Mania does not belong in S for any reason? Is there anyone here who would...
I'm fine with it being an S. I'll take your word for it.
Okay. Now
so I didn't play it, but based on all the praise you guys have given it, I would say I want to play it, and I'm really okay with that score.
And it's usually pretty... It's like, I think it's on sale right now really cheap because Black Friday. I would...
Check it out.
Get it.
Because I've been meaning to, but it's just...
I mean, I'm surprised I'm saying that, because I haven't truly cared about Sonic in a long time.
Yeah.
For instance, for many reasons, like the next one, Sonic Forces, where they realized, oh, people making original characters on DeviantArt, that could just be a game.
Oh, that's the one. I was waiting for when this was coming up.
But none of us have played it, probably, right? So we don't really get to...
I sure haven't.
Yeah, so you gotta be fair. We can't hate on it if we haven't played it.
An OC maker.
Yeah. Okay, has anyone played the Shadow of the Hedgehog game?
I have not.
I'm a broken record, but at Walmart, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no,
How was it?
That's my memories too of playing many games at the time. But it was just a poor shooting, just a basic shooting game, to my knowledge.
I always have that like spiritually linked with Dirge of Cerberus in my mind.
Oh, me too. Yeah, because it's like an offshoot with the gothic, angsty character. I think Dirge
involves like shooting with an edgy.
Dirge is probably technically has more artistic integrity behind it, even though it was just capitalizing off of that Advent Children movie. And everything. But
I had that game. I remember buying it and skipping school to play it, and
didn't you have it too, Jehmil? Jehmil, didn't you have Dirge?
No, I borrowed it from someone.
Okay.
Oh, we lost it.
I didn't finish it. It was, I don't know. I enjoyed it more than I think I would enjoy Shadow of the Hedgehog, but yeah.
Yeah, I'd say
the
the
same.
same.
Gloom's verdict.
Yeah, I'll give a B to Dirge of Cerberus. That's what we're doing, right?
Yeah. And I have not played for Shadow.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Shadow, it being like extra edgy, like I think to the point where he cusses in it.
I think so. It felt like Jack 2 also, which I had some issues with.
Wasn't Jack 3 like the dark one though? Like the dark
Jack
one?
2's the dark one. 3
2 and 3.
But 3 tried to at least get a little bit of the creativity back with some. It's in like the desert. It's more like Mad Max and like kind of fun, crazy, dark. But like the second one's just straight up dystopian
that was
city,
the
like
one where
GTA.
he had like the Super Saiyan 3 hair, right?
Yeah, or he has that when he goes like into a certain mode in every game, I think. But or in 2.
Yeah.
It's just kind of embarrassing. They're all well-made games. They're just kind of embarrassing. But
yeah.
So the next one's Sonic CD, which a lot of people think is like S tier, one of the best. I never had a Sega CD. I later played the port on stuff like PS3, and I found that I wasn't as blown away as all the hype was. But have either of you ever played this?
I
actually have played a fair amount of it on.
I might need to revisit it.
Mobile phone.
Interesting.
With touch controls.
It has like a crazy time travel plot, right?
Yeah, I don't remember there being much in the way of plot, but yeah, what it is there's these little signposts, kind of like the end stage signposts in the older games. It has something like that if you run past it at a high enough speed, then you will go to a different time period in the level. There's like present, past, and future, and there will be ones that send you back or send you forward.
The levels are some of the most complex ever. They're like really complicated, and then there's multiple versions of them and stuff. Is that right?
Yeah. I never felt like it was a fine game. I never felt like I was really grasping the
hype
time travel mechanics or doing what I needed to be doing. I don't know that I can knock it for that, since I didn't read an instruction manual when I played it, which it would have come out with when it first came out. So I don't know. I could see giving this a C, I guess.
That sounds fair. But within each tier, I'll try to kind of order them though, and like within C, it's definitely above Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and Unleashed. Tails Adventures.
By the way,
okay.
I know it's a technicality, but can we at least put Shadow the Hedgehog in F, because one of us has played it, and I feel like we don't have any Fs yet.
That's fair. I mean, there might be some coming. We don't know, but
all right.
Oh, the next one you're not going to allow to be put in F. So yeah, I'll put it in F. Why not? Okay, next one is almost. Okay, go ahead.
The form that I played Sonic the Hedgehog the most in, I mean, not Sonic, Shadow, is the little like fucking toy McDonald's Tiger electronic type. Yeah, that's the most I played of that game.
We're gonna have to do a ranking of Tiger electronic products.
Oh, that would actually be fun. And it would be based on just like the actual aesthetics of the console thing, not the fucking game.
So let's just get a bunch of these thrown where they get. Sonic Labyrinth. I don't know what it is. None of us have played it. Tails game. Yeah, I think these are all Game Gear ones. This one I can't even read what's the Sonic Pocket Advent. I actually really loved that one. That was on Neo Geo Pocket Color, which I had weirdly for a while. It's basically I think it was a remake of 2, but I enjoyed it. I put it at B or C.
Okay. Yeah, go right ahead.
Maybe B or C. I don't know. I don't think I should be saying that's better than Sonic CD, even though I have yet to understand the Sonic CD hype. I still trust people that it's great, so I'll put it on C. And then Sonic Origins is the big compilation, which apparently a lot of people are unhappy with certain elements of. I don't think any of us have it.
Yeah, I mix that one up with Generations all the time.
It just came out. So before I play it, I can't say anything. Sonic Frontiers. Sounds like you've played it, Gloom.
I put about an hour into it. I just being a fucking old person, I don't have time anymore.
Yeah, sure.
But it kind of like the opening stage kind of like blew me away. it just looks beautiful, and the music is fucking awesome.
Just the
And then
overworld
the
you
next
didn't like.
stage, like, what's up?
The overworld you didn't like. So you mean the
Yeah,
stages themselves are good.
if that is gonna be like where I am right now, like within the first two level portals, that's where I am on the map. Like I haven't gotten far at all. If it's gonna stay like that, then I'm not gonna have a good time because it's very boring. Uh, it's trying to go for some Breath of the Wild shit, obviously, but it's just like we were talking about earlier. It's just barren and it's nothing.
It even looked kind of Death Stranding-y to me, which is weird.
Well, Death Stranding, even how empty it was, like the environments were like there was way more thought put into them.
There's a reason it was all empty, aside from one
yeah.
line of dialogue. You know,
it served the story too, even though they could get away with it, like in terms of like cutting some corners, I guess. But yeah, Sonic Frontiers, it's just like it looks like an AI just went in and just made all those environments. And
where would you put it so far?
They're like these weird like fractal guys. I can't really judge it because I haven't put enough hours into it.
Okay, that's fair.
But if we can give it like a partial, I don't know. I don't know. I would say like a C or B.
Let's put it in C to be safe.
What I played so far, I would say C.
Okay. I will.
And that's the music carrying it because it really moved me. This throwback British electronic dance music.
Okay, yeah. I mean, this is gonna be, these lists tend to be controversial, but we go with our heart on these. If later down the road you think it's actually better or worse, you can let us know. We can add
a little amendment.
Yeah, a little note to the. So I left this one for last because I know Jehmil is gonna have some thoughts on it, and that is Sonic R.
Oh boy.
Let it all out.
Sonic R is a racing game. The controls feel weird. I don't know if that's because they're actually weird or if it's just because I see a walking character and expect it to control a certain way, but it actually controls
an on-foot racing game, yeah.
Some kind of like dysmorphic dissonance, whatever. But okay, other than the Katamari Damacy series, it has the best music in any video game ever made, bar Katamari Damacy.
Now, but isn't it...
Have you played Ape Escape, though?
No.
That's all I'll say.
Okay.
And I would say countless others that I think have a better soundtrack, but, I mean, Sonic R kind of is that Sonic Heroes cheesiness just with every song, right? Or is it that just one song?
No, listen,
can you see the sunshine?
Richard Jacques made such a cohesive, thematic, beautiful, emotionally deep soundtrack, and I can't recall the singer's name at this moment, but she
Lizzo
puts Whitney Houston to shame.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. It's got to be Lizzo you're talking about.
It's probably Lizzo, like young Lizzo.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Maybe. I didn't see a picture, but every single song in the soundtrack is exactly as long as it needs to be.
Well, that's a good trait to have.
It relates to the stage you're playing on, but in a philosophical way.
Oh.
I mean, you have one song talking about love, and then the next is talking about the military-industrial complex. It just doesn't. It just doesn't miss a beat. It doesn't.
This is sounding like an S. This is sounding like an S.
I would say, if we're going just on like the art within the game, I would definitely give.
What else are games but art, my friend?
So this is
True.
Sonic R you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. If there was an R category above S, I would put it in that. But
wow.
We're gonna put it in
Sonic R just makes me think it's just like one of those like weird fan continuations like Dragon Ball AF or something.
Or that it's rated R and it's just constant blood and cursing. but which it kind of, you know, it doesn't.
Yeah, or Sonic is retarded.
Oh, we don't use that word. We use Down syndrome.
Or I shouldn't say that either.
Symbol. Yeah, Sonic R. Wow, that's I was sold.
Mongoloid. Sorry.
That's yeah, Sonic R is definitely gonna. So our S tier is Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sonic Mania, and Sonic R. I don't think many people are gonna disagree with that in any single.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound controversial.
No, that doesn't even sound like one of those could even possibly raise an eyebrow. So.
You know what's funny is I actually put myself through the hell of listening to this extremely long, like 8-hour podcast from I think like 2009, and they ranked every single Sonic game and spin-off, and it was like I think it was like 8 hours long.
So you're advertising for competitors on our podcast. That's cool.
No, I didn't say the name.
I'm just kidding.
Also, those guys are like
could have been ours.
They're like way out of business. I don't know if you guys ever got into like Talk Radar or Games Radar.
Not personally.
It was actually really good.
I remember Games Radar, that word.
Were they like
so
really nerding into all the details and everything?
It was a video game journalism podcast, and they would just like on the weekend record a podcast with all the journos. And I know like the sentiment now is like fuck journalism, fuck games journalism, you know. Actually, one of the guys that was on the podcast was like a key, like bad guy in the whole Gamergate thing. Tyler Wilde.
Bad guy to which side?
So the podcast was fun because it was just like I don't know. They would just get wasted, and they were basically like kind of proto Cumtown, and like it was on par with like the Mega 64 podcast in its best.
I've never heard of Cumtown. Is it like the Adam Freeland show?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, it's
I'm
like
gonna have to check
Adam
that
Freeland
out.
show. Way less scripted than the Adam Freeland show.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
Yeah, they would just like the enjoyment that came from that wasn't even them talking about games. It was just like anecdotes and. So
that's actually what we were gonna go for here. We were thinking to start the first episode being more strictly what. As advertised, and then as we go,
funnily enough, I feel bad for what I'm currently doing right now because I know you guys are like y'all want to talk about like the technical stuff and like the actual games, and it's making me think like oh shit like I'm ruining this.
No. What are you talking? We never said we didn't want to talk about any specific thing.
Because what would happen on Games Radar is they would start off, you know, like. Doing what they're supposed to, and then some other guy would start talking about something like what I'm doing right now. So,
well, that's sort of
ironically, Talk Radar is basically what's happening right now.
Well, that's cool. It sounds like we're if they're not doing it anymore, then we're certainly not the first.
Let's take the name.
But no, we have a name, and it's really stupid. Well, I guess I'll run it by you now. I explained it at the beginning of the episode. So you know the pretentious Rutger Hauer line in Blade Runner where he's like tears in rain.
Yeah.
So our show's called Like Tears in Ranks. And so TIERS is spelled TIERS.
Okay. Yeah. I get it.
And he would be covered in rain on the thumbnail of every episode so that you can't miss the genius of the joke.
Okay, so since this has been fully explained to me, this is more like Talk Radar than I thought. Because they would literally start out with like the whole website was like listicles, like top 5 this, top 5 that, like before like S through F rankings were a thing. That's what they would do, and it would take them forever to get through it because there was a guy like me talking about his job at Toys R Us instead. But anyway.
Oh, don't worry, you're at home.
Good game.
Our plan was to start off with the first episode more reined in, but then the joke would, I guess I'm giving it away now, but the joke would be...
You'll cut that out of the recording, right?
I'll cut this out, I guess. But we would, as we go, even, like, we try to do ranks every time, but if we didn't feel like it, we'd still just have, like, a rank of some series on the screen and just not even address it and just talk about something completely different. And even, maybe there'd be continuity with like recurring jokes of certain series that
Mm.
we like always try to rank but never do or something. But yeah, it's very like it's no rules. The first one we wanted to just try doing it legit for once, but yeah, we'll see what happens. See if we ever even do another one. I'd like to. I'm glad that you popped in because I also like the 3-person dynamic. It might be fun to do that.
Yeah, we might have to. I don't know how. It doesn't have to go into like the actual like product, but it'd be better to like if we could see each other, it would help on like people not talking over each other. I think because I
Certainly.
find when you're in person, obviously that's not going to happen because you can see someone like trying to butt in. So the way I've tried this before, it does not. Well, not the camera thing, but like talking to people trying to record something. It always devolves into like just people talking at the same time. Not that that's happening here necessarily, but
Yeah,
it'll
and
help.
it's
And I was just wondering, like maybe could throw that in the mix, and it'll
it'll
help
we're
people.
gonna. I mean, this is so bare bones. It's gonna evolve. Yeah, and if that occurred a bunch on this one, it's probably more due to like connection delay or anything.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Instead of having to have like a talking pillow,
yeah,
where we have to
exactly.
hand to each
Oh
other. It's
yes,
my turn.
yes. I tried to, what's the word? MC curate whatever, where I hand it off to. What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah.
I tried to be even-handed with that, but um,
You're doing good.
we'll see what
You're doing good,
happens.
son.
Doing good. So I'm going to cease the recording on this one, but even if we do 99 more of these and it becomes the only joy in our lives, or if we never do it again, it was still fun doing like tiers and ranks with Gloom
Yeah.
and Jehmil, and I'm going by Sneakman on this, and thank you for watching, and stop.